Evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Austin from Ohio. I feel really bad because I didn't get to put anything out today because I wasted all that time recording something earlier and I had so much into it and I was so proud of it and I wanted to put it out because it was good, solid information, and I was continuing reading the book The Secret Destiny of America by Manly P. Hall, but I lost my recording. If you want the full explanation, it's in the last video. But I am going to put this out today because this is something that I believe in strongly. This is something that we need to be mindful of. We need to understand it, because if we do not know what we are fighting for, then we've already lost. So, we are going to read the U.S. Constitution. It is a great document. It is one of the most well-written documents for our founders. Were very smart men. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started here so we can get this going. It's remarkably short, too, compared to other things nowadays. The bills now are like 890 pages at the least. I seen one that was like 5,300 pages. And half the time, those people don't even read it. They just sign it through because they're not the ones who write it. And whenever you see a bill being introduced by somebody, they take credit for it, but there's no way that they sat there and wrote that. No. They have a system. They're masters. They're what's the word I'm looking for here? I can't even think of it right now, but oh well. We'll just go ahead and get started here. This is the preamble. We all had to learn this in school. Well, I did. I know it by heart, but we'll go ahead and read it from here. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Article 1, Section 1, Congress. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. We all know that. Section 2, the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states, and the electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of state legislature. No person shall be a representative who shall not have attained to the age of 25 years and been 7 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state in which he shall be chosen. Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed 3/5 of all other persons. The actual enumeration shall be made within 3 years after the first meeting of the Congress of the United States, and within every subsequent term of 10 years, in such manner as they shall by law direct. The number of representatives shall not exceed 1 for every 30,000, but each state shall have at least 1 representative until such enumeration shall be made. The state of New Hampshire shall be entitled to choose 3. Look how they used to spell choose. Massachusetts 8, Rhode Island and Providence Plantations 1, Connecticut 5, New York 6, New Jersey 4, Pennsylvania 8, Delaware 1, Maryland 6, Virginia 10, North Carolina 5, South Carolina 5, and Georgia 3. When vacancies happen in the representation from any state, the executive authority thereof shall issue writs of election to fill such vacancies. The House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers, and shall have the sole power of impeachment. The Senate. The Senate of the that word just, I'm sorry, I have to make a reference here. Every time I see that word, the Senate, it reminds me of Star Wars. Whenever Mace Windu tells Palpatine, he says, "The Senate shall decide your fate," and then Palpatine goes, "I am the Senate." Just something stupid that I love Star Wars, so I had to have a quick little laugh there. I hope you guys laugh with me and not get mad. Anyway, the Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. Immediately after they shall be assembled in consequence of the first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the second year, of the second class at the expiration of the 4th year, and of the third class at the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every second year. And if vacancies happen by resignation or otherwise during the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may take temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature, which shall then fill such vacancies. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained to the age of 30 years and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state for which he shall be chosen. The Vice President of the United States shall be President of the Senate, but shall have no vote, unless they be equally divided. The Senate shall choose their other officers, and also a President pro tempore, in the absence of the Vice President, or when he shall exercise the office of President of the United States. The Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. When sitting for that purpose, they shall be on oath or affirmation. When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside, and no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. Judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than removal from office and disqualification to hold any and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. But the party convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to law. Section 4. Elections. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof, but the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations, except as to the places of choosing senators. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meetings shall be on the first Monday in December, unless they shall by law appoint a different day. Sorry guys, I had to make sure that I was still recording there because of what happened earlier. I'm kind of paranoid now that this is just all going to be for nothing, and then I'm going to be really mad and have to take like 2 days off of this. Section 5. Powers and duties of Congress. Each house shall be the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its own members, and the majority of each shall constitute a quorum to do business, but a smaller number may adjourn from day to day and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members in such manner and under such penalties as each house may provide. Each house may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and with the concurrence of 2/3 expel a member. Each house shall keep a journal of its proceedings, and from time to time publish the same, excepting such parts as may in their judgment require secrecy. And the yeas and nays of the members of either house on any question shall, at the desire of 1/5 of those present, be entered on the journal. Neither house during the season of Congress shall, without the consent of the other, adjourn for more than 3 days, nor to any other place that in which the two houses shall be sitting. Rights and disabilities of members. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services, to be ascertained by law and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. They shall, in all cases except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses, and in going to, returning from the same, and for any speech or debate in either house, they shall not be questioned in any other place. No senator or representative shall, during the time for which he was elected, be appointed to any civil office under the authority of the United States, which shall have been created, or the emoluments whereof shall have been increased during such time. And no person holding any office under the United States shall be a member of either house during his continuance in office. Legislative process. All bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills. Every bill which shall have passed the House of Representatives and the Senate shall, before it become a law, be presented to the President of the United States. If he approve, he shall sign it, but if not, he shall return it, with his objections to that House in which it shall have originated, who shall enter the objections at large on their journal, and proceed to reconsider it. If after such reconsideration 2/3 of that House shall agree to pass the bill, it shall be sent, together with the objections to the other House, by which it shall likewise be reconsidered, and if approved by 2/3 of that House, it shall become a law. But in all such cases, the votes of both houses shall be determined by yeas and nays, and the names of the persons voting for and against the bill shall be entered on the journal of each house respectively. If any bill shall not be returned to by the President within 10 days, Sundays excepted, after it shall have been presented to him, the same shall be a law, in like manner as if he had signed it, unless the Congress by their adjournment prevent its return, in which case it shall not be a law. Every order, resolution, or vote to which the concurrence of Senate and House of Representatives may be necessary, except on question of adjournment, shall be presented to the President of the United States, and before the same shall take effect, shall be approved by him, or being disapproved by him, shall be repassed by 2/3 of the Senate and House of Representatives according to the rules and limitations prescribed in the case of a bill. Powers of Congress. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts, and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States, to borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and within the Indian tribes, to establish a uniform rule of naturalization and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States, to coin money, regulate the value thereof and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures, to provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. Let me stop here for a minute. See where it says the Congress has the power to coin money? Coin. Not paper currency. Coin. Not the Federal Reserve, which is a private bank. The Congress is the only one in this country who has the power to coin money, regulate the value thereof and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. And they provide the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. So right now, the Congress should be arresting every single member of the Federal Reserve and its creators. The people that signed it through are dead now. It was a long time ago, but everybody's still involved. It is illegal 100%. Central banks are not legal in this country. Our money is not real. It is a note of debt. A note, not a coin. Back to this. To establish post offices and post roads. To promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. To constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. To define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas and offenses against the law of nations. To declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. To raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for longer than a term of 2 years. To provide and maintain a navy. To make rules for the government and regulations of the land and naval forces. To provide for calling forth the militia. To execute the laws of the Union. Suppress insurrections and repel invasions. To provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states respectively the appointment of the officers and the authority of training the militia according to the discipline prescribed by the Congress. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district, not exceeding 10 miles square, as may by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress become the seat of the government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of this state, in which the same shall be for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution of the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States, or in any department or officer thereof. Powers denied Congress. The migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation not exceeding $10 for each person. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended, unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid, unless in proportion to the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. No tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from any state. No preference shall be given by any regulation of commerce or revenue to the ports of one state over those of another. Nor shall vessels bound to or from one state be obliged to enter, clear, or pay duties in another. No money shall be drawn from the treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law, an irregular statement and account of receipts and expenditures, all public money, shall be published from time to time. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatsoever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Powers denied to the states. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder ex post facto law or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. No state shall, without the consent of the Congress, lay any impost or duties on imports, exports, except what may be absolutely necessary for executing its inspection laws, and the net produce of all duties and imposts laid by any state on imports and exports shall be for the use of the Treasury of the United States, and all such laws shall be subject to the revision and control of the Congress. No state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty of tonnage, keep troops or ships of war in time of peace, or enter into any agreement or compact with another state or foreign power, or engage in war unless actually invaded, or in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. Article 2, Section 1. The executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. He shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and together with the Vice President, chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress, but no senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed an elector. The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for 2 persons, of whom one at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state with themselves, and they shall make a list of all the persons voted for and of the number of votes for each, which list they shall sign and certify and transmit sealed to the seat of the government of the United States, directed to the President of the Senate, which is the Vice President. The President of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all the certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. A person having the greatest number of votes shall be the President. If such number be a majority of the whole number of electors appointed, and if there be more than one who have such majority and have equal number of votes, then the House of Representatives shall immediately choose by ballot one of them for president. If no person have a majority, then from the 5 highest on the list, the said House shall in like manner choose the president. But in choosing the president, the vote shall be taken by states, representation from each state having 1 vote. A quorum for this purpose shall consist of a member or members from 2/3 of the states, and a majority of all the states shall be necessary to choice. In every case, after the choice of the president, the person having the greatest number of votes of the electors shall be vice president. But if there should remain 2 or more who have equal votes, the Senate shall choose from them by ballot the vice president. The Congress may determine the time of choosing the electors and the day on which they shall give their votes, which day shall be the same throughout the United States. No person except a natural-born citizen or citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible for the office of President. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained to the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within the United States. In case of the removal of the President from office, or of his death, resignation, or inability to discharge the powers and duties of the said office, the same shall devolve on the Vice President. The Congress may by law provide for the case of removal, death, resignation, or inability, both of the President and Vice President, declaring what officer shall then act as President. Such officer shall act accordingly until a disability be removed or a President shall be elected. The President shall at stated times receive for his services a compensation which shall neither be increased nor diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected, and he shall not receive within that period any other emolument from the United States or any of them. Before he entered on the execution of his office, he shall take the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. How many times do you think a president has broken that oath? The correct answer is too many to count, and all of them, minus a few. Section 2. The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states. When called into actual service of the United States, he may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices. He shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. He shall have power by and with the advice and consent of the Senate to make treaties, provided 2/3 of the senators present concur. He shall nominate and by with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers, consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law, but the Congress may by law vest the appointment of such inferior officers as they think proper, in the President alone, the courts of law, or in the heads of the departments. The President shall have power to fill up all vacancies that may happen during the recess of the Senate by granting commissions which shall expire at the end of their next session. He shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the state of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. He may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them in case of disagreement between them. With respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such a time as he shall think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed and shall commission all the officers of the United States. Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Article 3. Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges both of the Supreme and inferior courts shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall at stated times receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made, or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be party, to controversies between two or more states, between state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state, claiming lands under grants of different states, and between the state, or the citizens thereof in foreign states, citizens or subjects. In all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, and those in which a state shall be party, the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. In all the other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as to law and fact, with such exceptions and under such regulations as the Congress shall make. The trial of all crimes except in cases of impeachment shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crime shall have been committed, but when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at such a place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. Section 3. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. The Congress shall have power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood, forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. Article 4. Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public arts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state, and the Congress may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved, and the effect thereof. The citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. That means what's going on right now, you can still go to other states and enjoy the citizenship and privileges and everything the other state has to offer. Don't ever let them lock you out of any state. I've seen they're setting up roadblocks and stuff in some states, like Pennsylvania had something going on recently where they were setting up roadblocks and barring people from entering the state and pulling over people with out-of-state license plates. I live in an area where I can travel across 2 state lines in 20 minutes. I live on the Ohio River. So if I drove right now, crossing the West Virginia the northern panhandle, I could be in Pennsylvania. It's 8:37. I can be in Pennsylvania before 9 o'clock. That's how close I am. A person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime who shall flee from justice and be found in another state shall, on demand of the executive authority of the state from which he fled, be delivered up and removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. No person held to service or labor in one state under the laws thereof, escaping into another, shall be, in consequence of any law or regulation therein, be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up on claim of the party whom such service or labor may be due. New states may be admitted by the Congress into this Union, but no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of 2 or more states or parts of the states without the consent of legislatures of the states concerned as well as of the Congress. Uh-oh, my phone's freezing up again. What's going on? Ever since I started doing this, they've been messing with my stuff. Oh, man, of course. See how I'm trying to go back and it's not. This is annoying. Oh, come on. What is going on here? Are you serious? Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to, I guess we're gonna have to stop there, and I'm gonna have to make this into a 2-part thing. Let me show you this real quick. This is HR 127, Sabika Sheikh Firearm Licensing and Registration Act. Look at this. All information except text. I wonder why that is. Because if the text was here, we would be going through that. This is a national registry. Don't get it twisted. Also, let's take a look at this. FEMA asked Pentagon to ready as many as 10,000 troops to support nationwide vaccine push. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, has asked the Pentagon to ready as many as 10,000 troops to support 100 C-19V sites nationwide, with the goal of administering 450,000 Vs a day. The federal government envisions 50 mega V sites capable of administering 6,000 shots per day, in addition to 50 large V sites providing 3,000 shots per day, according to defense officials. The first of the FEMA-powered V sites are expected to be operating by mid-February, a senior White House official told CBS News. Will scale up as V production intensifies in the coming months. FEMA is prepared to deploy order to the Department of Defense is expected to be approved but has not yet been green-lighted. California, Virginia, Michigan, Delaware, and New Mexico are among the states that have requested federally run V centers. The FEMA-run sites will be entirely new in most cases, according to senior White House official, but the federal agency will work with governors to provide personnel and support to existing state-run V centers. Where they're needed, the agency will offer funding, logistics, blah, 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 blah. This is the military and the feds getting involved in V. The military will eventually be administering this. We're still in the voluntary phase right now. And then, after that, after a lot of people get that, then they're going to make it a mandate. A lot more people will get it. After that, there will be like, what? 2, 3, maybe 4% of us who didn't. And that's what these troops are for. You also got to think of all the troops that they also have that they built up over all of 2020. Oh yeah, we're going to be getting into current events. I was reading the Constitution, but we'll have to continue that another time along with the Secret Destiny. I'm starting too many projects. But there's just a lot going on right now with this crap. And look at this. Oh yeah, and there's also a federal mask mandate. Didn't see that coming. Look at this. The outbreak will continue to mutate. Yeah. COVID-21, it'll be coming. Mark my words. Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.